Alright. So once again, I'm live. Got Chak with me on this Saturday evening. A lot of things going on in the news, nonsense, and things that make your head spin. So, one thing that's been going on, a lot of things been going on in Congress. Got 50 Cent. I was at Congress yesterday. The other day. A couple days ago. A lot of people upset with 50. Some people the Democrats happy, but the people when he go meet with Republicans, I guess people get mad. So that's how it go. Way of life, I guess. But nevertheless, I just played the video for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our brother 50 Cent has been making some news. No, not talking about Puffy, but he's made some news because he went up to Congress. Now they was having hearings about Black people having more representation in the area of the alcohol industry. And 50 has his own alcoholic drink. Some people think oh wow, we need to be owning alcohol. Look, we need to own everything we can because like Hennessy, that's not Black owned. We need to have a drink like that, or whatever y'all drinking. We need to have that. We need to corner the market on everything that we're doing. I take no issue with Black people having more representation, in any kind of industry, right? So 50 went up there to Congress, and people kind of, having some positive comments. Some didn't like some pictures that 50 was taking with certain politicians. But let's go ahead and play what 50 had posted on Instagram.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know you were very surprised when you heard for the first time 50 Cent is running for president. I'd like to thank you all for tuning into these debates. Some really important issues to address. And I'd love to answer your questions and hear your suggestions. Listen to this. Now, propose. I'm not just another politician. Politicking is your boy. 50. Here we go.
Curtis 50 Cent Jackson was on Capitol Hill today advocating for Black entrepreneurs. He stopped by House Speaker Mike Johnson's office, and the two took a moment to pose for this photo together. Jackson was in D.C. meeting other Republican leaders and members of the Congressional Black Caucus, pushing for African-American representation in many business sectors.
Mr. Thanks for using your platform to help businesses who would never have your.
See you, man. I'm proud of you. Appreciate all of the work that you're doing and incredible investments. And we'll be with you through it all. Anything that we can do to amplify the great work that you're doing.
He won't be denied. And when he kicks the door open, all of us coming through that door as business owners, not just consumers.
Today, I went to talk to them about economic opportunities for everybody, and it's really exciting. The response I got makes me feel like there's bright things ahead of me.
And also, he's been having a lot of issues going back and forth with the different companies with, the different liquor brands. And he got a lawsuit going on right now with one of them. But it's good 50 is doing that, using his, reach and getting down there. Because you know what? Hey, you never know. One day may be a president 50. If Donald Trump could become president, then surely 50 Cent can become president, right? But some people took issues with some of the photos he was taking. So let's go ahead and put that up on the screen. Now, 50 Cent, as you can see at the top left here, that's the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. He's a Republican. He took a picture with Nancy Pelosi. She's a Democrat. She used to be the House Speaker, as you know. Down here, I think it was a Joyce Beatty. I think that's her name, Democrat. Lauren Boebert is the one that they made a big deal about. Why he took a picture with her? She's Republican. And then the sister on the right, Nakima, I forgot Nakima's last name. She's out of Atlanta, right? So if you could see, 50 was taking pictures with Democrats and Republicans. He spoke to both sides. And this is what I have been preaching for a very, very long time, that is Black people and Republicans. If you just go to Democrats, that's why they have so much power over the Black community. But 50 is doing
Did you know e-farmers make money by
She go holler at whoever you got to holler at to try to get some things done for Black people. This is the freedom of being politically independent. I told y'all I'm independent. Much as I may have some alike on the other side when it comes to Republican, but it's not no other side for me, because saying it's the other side, it's like you belong to the Democrats. I don't belong to nobody. I'm completely independent. So if a Democrat puts something that I think I can go with, I'll vote for that person. If the Republican have something that I can go with, I'll go with them. But when it comes to fighting for the Black vote, that's what you're supposed to say. Democrat, what you got for Black people? Republican, what you got for Black people? Now, the Lauren Boebert thing, people was mad about her because she had some little situation in the movie theater. You know, she was on a date with a dude, and you know, she was, you know, rubbing him one inside the theater, and people, that's not becoming of a U.S. Congresswoman. But you know, I don't look at them with no high standards. I really don't, because I remember at one point in time they used to at least fake they had some decorum. They wouldn't cuss. They wouldn't act a fool during the day, right? So I mean, it is what it is. Fidget did right by taking a picture of Lauren Boebert because she's a congresswoman. Let me tell you something. If I got to try to get something for Black people, I would even take a picture with Marjorie Taylor Greene, Miss Bad Built. I'll take a picture with her. If she gonna get something for Black people, I sure would. I'll take a picture with Clyburn if he gonna do something for Black.
All right, Shaq. So the word is 50 Cent, man. A lot of people are saying the picture with Lauren Boebert and Donald Trump. He met with Trump. He met with a lot of people. So a lot of people are upset with him, but he was being Trump and all them. So it's kind of hypocritical. Are you mad when you glad when you want to take pictures with him, but then when he meet with somebody else, you don't? See how hypocritical it is, Shaq?
Yes, this is selective outrage that
Yeah.
people's cognitive abilities, it's a little
I heard.
running around a little crazy.
Yeah. Well, I always looked at 50 as a businessman anyway, so I kind of didn't take it one way or the other. All right, Shaq, what do you think about this? Ten NFL teams so far declined to bow to Pride Month messaging. So basically what's going on is Pride Month. A lot of teams basically also he had the kicker of the Chiefs. He happened to had a role in saving B.J. Thompson during his seizure and cardiac arrest because a Chiefs player this week
as this country
fell out on the field
began to take
in practice.
Were made,
almost died. Arrest.
Born outlaws and lawmen on
What I'm talking about on news, but what was talking about. Okay. Close that. Okay. So here it is. That's Miami. They celebrated Pride. Miami Dolphins cheerleaders 11 teams that now participate with Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals, Tennessee Titans, Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos, Dallas Cowboys, Green Bay Packers, New Orleans Saints, and Atlanta Falcons. So I look at it like we talked about earlier, Shaq. These people are tyrants, and they want you to do everything they do. That's how I look at it. You hear me?
Well, yeah, you can't allow them to push. You can't allow them to make push you over, man. Kick you in your butt. Tell them, get back, get back. You don't know me like that, huh? First of all, who are y'all?
All right, here we go. They telling you they run shit. All right. Alex Jones agrees to liquidate his assets to pay Sandy Hook families and move that within ownership of InfoWars. So basically what they're saying is, Alex Jones, we want you to file bankruptcy, liquidate your assets, and they said the government might take over InfoWars, basically. Paves the way for a future in which Jones no longer owns InfoWars. The influential conspiracy he found in the late 1990s. Over the years, Jones has not only used a media company to poison the public interest with vile lies and conspiracies, but also enriched himself in $2 million. It says San Diego families have not seen a penny yet. And they said legal maneuver means that his ownership and free speech is going to get sold. So that goes to show you that they're trying to make an effort to shut down free speech.
Yeah. Once again, if you let them.
Once again, if you let them. You're right. All right. NAACP asks Biden to halt weapons to Israel as he seeks up to shore up black voter support. Come think about it, they say 4 hostages got released. But the NAACP urged Biden to, on Thursday, to indefinitely halt all weapons to Israel. Sending a reminder that his support for Israel could hurt him among black voters in the women's election. The injuries called with rare instance of the influential civil rights organization taking a position on U.S. foreign policy towards a country without a significant black population. It appeared likely to deepen the Democrat president's election year challenge. He tries to back a key ally abroad in temper unrest and support among at home. The hunting itself at the Hamas military people and took more than 250 hostages. The NAACP urged Hamas to return the hostages and stop all that terrorist activity. It also urged Israel to commit an offensive strategy that is aligned with international humanitarian laws. Israel faces accusation at the Criminal Court of Justice that it has violated the Genocide Convention, which it denies. Y'all can get this article on Reuters right here. But why didn't we worry about that though? I mean, like, killing is killing, man. So I'm like, y'all just want this for political posturing. What about the people dying for real? Y'all just want this after the election. Y'all gonna say, well, y'all can go back to do what y'all doing, but just calm it down right now. What do you think about this shit?
Man, they don't care about that, man. You talking about?
I agree with you.
You don't care about that dog. Hmm? Since when
I don't think they care.
you telling me they go to Negroes now for advice? Really? I didn't get that memo. We had to say so to go to war. So we got the power to start and stop wars now, huh?
You got a point, man.
You were up, huh? Boy, that's
Hey, man. That's what they say, man. Now, look, this is something that's been going on there in the media, too, man. With Brian Donalds and Joy Reid. She says her show, he went on her show. They making this lie that he said that the black family was better before Jim Crow and all this stuff, right? No. What he said was that you had high marriage rates and things like that. He never said, they put this in his mouth. But I want you to hear this. Because he's been on the media tour all week talking about this stuff.
Is there a specific period between 1867 and 1968 that you thought was this golden era for black families, or a time that was good for black families?
Joy, I never said that. And see, this is where the gaslighting comes in.
I'm going to read what you said.
All I was talking about was the marriage rates.
Stop. No,
Joy,
that's not what you said. Let's play what you said.
Play
what he said. Play what he said.
Families. You're saying I said it was the golden era. I never said that.
I'm going to play what you said.
Said that it was better for black families. I never said that.
Yeah, well, that was something. That's Republican Byron Donalds sparring with Joy Reid and other Democrats about remarks regarding Jim Crow and the era for African Americans. A lot of liberals getting worked over the comment. Watch here.
One of the things that's actually happening in our culture, which you're now starting to see in our politics, is the reinvigoration of black families with younger black men and black women. During Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's right. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative minded, but more black people voted conservatively.
The Florida lawmaker, we're Trump VP contender, is with me now. Sir, good morning to you.
No blacks voting doing with Jim Crow.
I know you disagree with what Joy Reid was saying on MSNBC. What were you trying to say then?
What blacks you know was voting for Jim Crow?
That's a good question right there.
Who was they vote for?
He said
they voting conservatively. Man, well, for their own, because see, this is where we keep getting mixed up. That we still have our own little government, like places like South Carolina. They got their own state government, had their own government, so they were congressmen and shit, and you know. They was voting for. I don't think they was voting for no damn. Why should we vote for a race motherfucker back then, dog? That would defeat the civil rights movement, bro. If they was doing that, that's the whole point of the civil rights movement, because they had they weren't getting counted as a vote and voting and stuff like that. Still remember, these states and stuff still had their own state elections and stuff, government officials that they vote for. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
They started, like I said, that's when they started to really discriminate during Jim Crow, man. That's when they made the discrimination start during Jim Crow. Redlining and all that stuff, man. I mean, they started all these laws and stuff. They started put on the books and stuff, lottery and shit. Like I said, three more, you know what I'm saying, men and whatever black men couldn't be standing on the corner. That was considered what, lottery or some shit.
Yep.
The damn what's the shit called?
Vagabond.
Jaywalk. They created jaywalking law for to lock blacks up, man. But they try to, they was after slavery, all these stuff. Dude, we was already in position, had already had towns and stuff that we had already been living in, man. People have already been living in. Government had already been governing themselves. You know what I'm saying? And these people, like I said, once they move in them towns, shit, they want you to move out. That's the same shit that's going on to these days. Once they move in your town and shit, they want you to move out. Nowadays, we call it gentrification. Back then, it was called the Jim Crow.
Hey,
You know what I mean?
you're right.
Hmm?
Yep. Let me let him continue. Get some interesting stuff in here. Hold on.
Yeah.
First of all, what we're talking about in Philadelphia a couple of days ago was the importance of Black families and united Black families, growing Black families in the United States. That's very, very important. The empirical fact is that Lyndon Johnson's policies, the Great Society, and other issues. That is an empirical fact. The problem that the Democrats want to create, and this is a creation on their part, is that because I said Jim Crow, they think I'm talking about some golden era. What's important in here, and this entire phony controversy, is that Joe Biden, his campaign, Democrat leadership, and the terrible press want to make an issue. They want to gaslight Black people in this country. They want to make Black people think in America that Republicans look at Jim Crow as it was some great time in American history. That is not true. They are gaslighting, they're lying. And so, Bill, to be blunt with you, I'm not going to be intimidated. I'm not going to go and do an apology tour. I'm going to stand up to them in the foolishness that they're trying to concoct, because what they want to see happen is Black people, quote unquote, stay voting for Democrats, and they will use race, they will gaslight, they will lie, they will twist words for that to be accomplished. But I'm not going to let them twist my words. I'm going to stand up to them.
A Democrat, Hakeem Jeffries, called it outlandish and outrageous. He went on to say, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. Back to the MSNBC interview. Watch here.
You are in an interracial marriage. Your wife is a white conservative activist. Could your family have existed at all during Jim Crow?
No, it could not, Joy, and we all know that. But that's why I am blessed to live in America today as opposed to America during that time. But we cannot ignore the realities of not having fathers in homes. That is important for Black people today and all people today as we move forward for a better America.
Seems to be a significant point, and it seems to draft off what you were pushing toward during the event you mentioned there a moment ago about President Johnson's policies that were signed into law. You believe fundamentally that it was those policies in the mid-1960s that led African Americans down a worse road.
Well, Bill, let's be clear. It's not about belief. It's the empirical fact. The marriage rate in Black America declined rapidly after the passage of a lot of the Great Society policies. So it was destructive. But let's talk about Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries saw a headline from the Biden administration and went to the House floor. He was wrong. And so, look, I'm not going to stand here and listen to Hakeem Jeffries lecture me when the truth of the matter is, if you want to talk about Jim Crow was Democrat Party policies that led to the disenfranchisement, frankly, the terror against Black people in America. That's one of the reasons why Black people during that time period were voting much more conservatively and have always been conservative minded. That's the overall point, if we're going to be technical about the history. But like I said, they don't want to be technical. They want to gaslight, they want to twist, they want to lie. And so I'm not going to let them get away with that. I'm going to stand up to it. I'm going to stand firm on what I said, because if you're going to talk about families, family structure, and dads being in homes with their wives, raising kids is good for Black America, and it's good for all America.
And we're going to see whether or not Donald Trump can attract more African Americans. The polling suggests yes, but it really was at this point in 2020 where he was favorable as well. But a lot of African American voters, they went home and they voted for Joe Biden. Quickly, want to show you this. The VP list, the short list that we think is out there now, you're on it, bottom row, second from the left. And Sean asked Donald Trump about this just yesterday. Roll it.
I think they'll announce who that person's going to be during the convention. I think that's pretty normal. During the convention, it'll be an interesting period of time.
Oh, who's the best pick for Donald Trump?
Honestly, I'm gonna leave that to Donald Trump. A lot of good people on that list. I think at this point, we just want him to win and get back into the White House. Everybody is committed to that, you know, no matter who he decides to go with. At the end of the day, we got to get our country together, back on track. Our economy is a mess. Our borders insecure. Foreign policy is an abject disaster. Donald Trump will do a significantly better job.
Byron Donalds, thank you for your time.
So he talking about marriage rates and all that. Just one thing, the Ninth Circuit, I want to break some breaking news to you, Shaq. I forgot to mention this to you earlier. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals says the mRNA jab is not a vaccine. Just putting it out there. So here we go. One more time.
Look, I'll cut the malarkey. We're facing a critical fundraising deadline. With the election just around the corner.
Congressman, welcome to the show. You just heard what Congressman Vesey had to say about your comments. You've also been criticized by House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and the head of the DNC, Jamie Harrison, both of them black. One of them black from Brooklyn, like you were born in Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn. What's your response?
My response is that it's very interesting how people can just lie and mischaracterize what I said. The video's on my social media. Go to @Byron Donalds. You can listen to it in full. I never said or insinuated anything about Jim Crow being better. Just was talking about the marriage rates of black families in America during that time period. It's an empirical fact.
You mentioned Jim Crow. Wait a minute. I've watched your video. You mentioned Jim Crow 4 times. One time you referred to families. All families did less. They had higher divorce rates in the 60s and 70s as the nation opened up. This wasn't because of Jim Crow kept blacks scared. Blacks couldn't vote. Those families couldn't go downtown. I mean, to in any way infer that the black families were better than Jim Crow. I mean, I've said things that I've later said I shouldn't have said that way.
I've never
Can't
said
you
that.
own that even sanitizing Jim Crow, even if that wasn't your intention, was to say, that's my intention, I'm sorry for using those words?
Well, first of all, I never sanitized Jim Crow. I was just talking about the era in which black marriage rates were higher than they were during the Great Society and every other point in American history.
Why did you say
that's
Jim
a period
Crow?
of time, Reverend.
The period of time was the 50s. If you want to say the 50s,
that's when it happened.
You said Jim Crow.
That's when it happened.
Jim
because that was the era in which marriage rates were higher. Look, you had Joe Biden a couple years ago talking about Jim Crow 2.0, talking about Georgia's law, and he lied. He lied then. So are we not allowed to talk about that era, or only are we allowed to talk about it when we do want to recall all the history of Jim Crow and all the tragedies that occurred during Jim Crow?
If we're going
to
to talk
which one we're
about the era, Congressman, and you name a race-based law, then you cannot take race out of the fact Jim Crow was a law against black people. You weren't just talking about the era of Dwight Eisenhower and Harry Truman. You named Jim Crow. There's only one way you could deal with Jim Crow, and that's by race. I mean, look, you and I have mutual friends. People say you're a straight shooter. We may disagree on politics. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. But look, you were born in Brooklyn. You went down into the South, went to Florida State. You have an interracial marriage. You're the congressman of a district that's not a black district. I mean, how can you even live with yourself acting like Jim Crow was a good era or better era for blacks? What happened to you?
Okay, that's real cute. That's real cute. I did not say that. And I'm not going to sit here and have to insinuate that again. Because right now you're lying about what I said. I did say Jim Crow. I did reference it 3 times. That's not to say that it was better. I never said that. Those words never came out of my mouth. When are you going to get that through your skull and everybody else's skull? I never said that. And the difference between me and a lot of other Republicans, I'm not going to sit here.
You said it was better for us
I'm not going to let you
under Jim Crow to bring families together. Did you say that?
Hakeem Jeffries was lying. The Biden campaign was lying.
All right.
Go look at my words.
Well,
go look at my words.
Right. People can
did
look
I
at
say
your
Jim
words.
Crow was better? No, I did not.
You said
I did not
under
say Jim Crow was better. I never said it was good. I did not have nostalgia. I never said any of those things. I was talking about black families and black family marriage rates during that time. And the.
All right. Then what did Jim Crow do to contribute to black families? Hello?
I'm not talking. Oh my gosh!
You
What
said
I said,
that you
guys
said
still have me.
under
What I said
Jim
about
Crow,
Jim
black
Crow was
families. So explain to me what Jim Crow did to help black families.
the marriage rates during the Jim Crow era were higher for black families up
Because
until
of
the
Jim
point of
Crow?
the Great Society. I did not say that. I said they were. And this is the problem, because you're trying to say that I said because of Jim Crow marriages were at a
You
higher
brought
rate.
up
I
Jim
did
Crow,
not say
sir.
that.
I didn't.
I said during. I said during.
But why
I guess
did
we
he
can't refer
use
to
Jim
time
Crow?
periods
Jim
then,
Crow
Reverend.
was
That
a
don't make no
race law.
sense.
Well, first of all, under Great Society did programs like manpower training, model cities, train young people. HEW didn't do anything about families. It's health, education, welfare. So, I mean, what are you talking about? They were not the antithesis to marriage. I mean, Congressman. All right, let's go to this. Donald Trump suggested twice just this week that he might seek retribution against political enemies of if he's elected president. He also tried to link his legal problems to the injustices African Americans have suffered at the hand of our legal system. Why should Black Americans believe that Trump is serious about criminal justice reform when he only seems concerned about it when it applied to him? You know the record. You're from Brooklyn, what he did around the Central Park case. You know the record that he was president when George Floyd was killed by police. He said nothing. Had protesters moved from front of a church, made a speech denouncing the protesters. He has no problem talking about locking up his political opponents or homeless or asylum seekers, but he now wants to act like he's a victim of something. What is your response to that, Congressman?
Well, first of all, during the Trump presidency, he also signed into law reforms to criminal justice reform, the first step back, which actually helped get a lot of people released who were imprisoned under the '94 crime bill that was authored by Joe Biden, one of the worst pieces of crime legislation that's really impacted a lot of people in the Black community.
You and I agree on
He
the
did that.
'94 crime bill. I marched on it, and Joe Biden has said that it went too far. But Donald Trump has not dealt with his own record of discrimination. If you're talking about the two candidates, Donald Trump, unlike Biden, who talked about how the crime bill did go too far, Donald Trump has not dealt with his discrimination, that he was sued by the Justice Department in housing, what he did with Central Park 5, what he's done in various race cases, and explained as president what he did with George Floyd. You were in
What
Congress.
did he do with George Floyd? He didn't do anything with George Floyd. What are you talking
exactly
about?
Right.
What did he do against
exactly
it? He did
right.
not do
He did
anything.
not
The only thing he
support
said is that riots in
around-
America do need to stop. Well, first of all, let's talk about that legislation, because there were actually
policing bill that
there
he
were
did
two
not.
bills that were going through Congress at the time. The
Yeah.
bill that
Well, I'm gonna say something about this. Actually, to tell you the truth, I think the man buying Donald actually got some good points. On this one, because there's a lot of weird
Also
shit.
got some good points, 'cause, well, he went letting them. Obviously, you know what they do. They try to close you off and let you finish your speech and shit. Trying to overtalk it. Then they try to, when you make a point and you debunk what they said, then they try to overtalk you and change the subject, trying to hurry change to something else. You mean to tell me?
Because I ain't going with no Al
that
Sharpton.
Joe Biden
You know who
was-
Al Sharpton is. You ain't going with Al Sharpton.
You mean to tell me that you're going to be more stricter on Donald Trump, who was not a politician back then, but the motherfucker that was a politician, the individual that was a politician and was strongly and had strong opinions, very strong opinions. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna sidestep that and say, "Oh well, you know, in his administration, he said this, he said that." But what policies they put in place to reverse that? Man, and y'all not even requesting him and request him to put no policies in to change it for any retribution. Now that his son, ironically, the chicken come home to roost. Now his son is in these predicaments, those predicaments, for drugs, guns, and all of a sudden his son is innocent though. But you want harsh penalties for the Negroes, or the so-called blacks. That's what I like to call us, the blacks. We ain't human beings. We just the blacks. See, that's the way they just call you by color, the blacks. You know what I mean? Now, so they don't have to have no humility, no empathy when they call you, trying to take you away from your humanity. And it's the people that look like us to be doing it even worse, just like the Al Sharptons. You know what I mean? They are the gatekeepers, but they want to be the gatekeepers, man. Because if you for the benefit, and I noticed that I was for the people, definitely the melanated people that have been still going through holocausts and atrocities still to the day. A lot of murders, and crimes.
Yep. Can you hear me? Yo. Chak. Yeah, he was bringing up pretty rough. I can't. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. They kicked me out the stream. I was talking. I ain't know my damn. I was kicked out the stream. Yeah, I was talking. I was just steady talking. I looked down and just see the phone. Them was blank. Man. Now I was saying we got people that's in those positions, man. They still ain't done that, man. You know what I'm saying? No restitution. Man. He kicking for Joe Biden. What the policies at, bro? You arguing about some old shit. What the policies at?
Yeah. He making a lot of noise here.
Yeah, why if they're trying to argue some shit, argue some stuff, man. What the policies at? What the policies we put in play today? Why y'all ain't, the least y'all can do, these Negro politicians, is put in some type of act or some where they did take those old laws that those Jim Crow laws off the books, because those can be enacted at any time. Why y'all haven't pushed to get them taken off the books completely? You could at least do that. Try to do that. You know what I'm saying? Or make it look like you did it. Try to do it. And they was against you. So it's things they could be doing. You know. So one would say, damn, we still ain't got no representation. We still don't have no representation. American Indian / American Negro still don't have no representation. You got imposters in there, lining their pockets, getting all type of gifts, getting all type of book deals, royalties from book deals and stuff. Huh? They getting in leadership positions. They getting in positions in government, but they not representing the people that they say they represent. They're imposters, frauds.
Let me bring his one.
Mm-hmm.
Now listen to this. I want you to hear this. Watch how he kicked Fauci. Watch this.
Recognize Mr. Mfume from Maryland for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And by the way, no, we don't have it. So I get tired of hearing we've got it, and then when we ask for it, it's not there. We do not have it, Dr. Fauci, and for everyone watching this. That's just incorrect. Now, let me just say a couple of things. If I sound a little outraged, just because, you know, we sit here, we watch one conspiracy theory after another get debunked. And if I might, on a point of personal privilege, to the gentlewoman from New York who wanted to argue that we should be worrying about testing of human medicines on animals. If this committee really wants to do something, let's talk about the most infamous biomedical research study in the United States, the Tuskegee study, where 400 Black men in this country were injected deliberately with syphilis and allowed to die slowly over a 40-year period without any attempt to help them at all. It was condoned by the U.S. Public Health Service. And if we want to talk about testing, let's talk about that as well. I'm going to talk about COVID right now. Mr. Chairman, I have the floor, Mr. Chairman. I want to say to you, Mr. Chairman.
Ask you to suspend, please. I want to remind the audience of decorum. Recognize Mr. Mfume.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank you and Ranking Member Ruiz for this opportunity. Dr. Fauci, we owe you an apology for the way we have run you through the mud, and none of us have said to you, here's where you go to get your good name and your reputation back. It's the most unfair thing I have seen. If there were evidence, if there were facts that supported the charges, I, like everybody else, would be interested, but we haven't seen a damn thing to suggest that these accusations are accurate. You've been a hero to many for 54 years, 5+ decades. You helped lead this country through the anthrax scare, through AIDS, through Zika, through Ebola, through SARS, and through COVID-19, pandemics and epidemics. We owe you a collective thank you. You are a world-renowned scientist and an American patriot. And whether or not people want to believe that, that's on them. But those facts are undisputable. For a year and a half, the Republican majority on this committee has sought to weaponize genuine scientific questions over COVID-19 and to vilify our public health officials and our nation's scientists with unsubstantiated, with baseless, with allegations that just can't stand the light of day. And so they've tried to do that with COVID-19, and we are here now as a result of the aggregated amount of foolishness that has taken place. And I've always said to this committee, every time I've had a chance to speak, let's go back to when we were in the heart of the pandemic, when our family members and friends and coworkers were dying left and right, when we were afraid to get near anybody, where we wanted to wash down our groceries before we brought them into the house, where we were willing to put on masks or headgear if it would keep us from being infected. And we turned to our leaders and the public health officials and scientists for answers. And we got some, but then we didn't get some. And then we got some later, like Dr. Deborah Birx, who was Donald Trump's expert on the virus, who said, no, bleach won't do it. Don't inject yourself with it. And who also said publicly on the record that thousands of American lives could have been spared if we had done what we were being told to do by the scientific community. At least one thing is clear. Those 1 million people who died as a result of these conspiracy theories will never come back. And those families have empty seats at the table year after year. And we do a disservice if at the very least we don't acknowledge their deaths and the harm and the hurt that has been done to their families and learn how to find a way to trust science going forward in this country. Dr. Fauci, you've been accused over and over again of going to the CIA headquarters and sitting down and having a meeting with the CIA to construct a way to make sure that COVID raged in this country. Is that correct?
That is incorrect.
Dr. Fauci, have you been to the CIA office in the last 20 years or headquarters?
I went to the CIA decades ago during the anthrax attacks to discuss the possibility of terrorist attacks.
Thank you. I wanted to get that on the record because that's just the latest theory now that you and the CIA director conspired. This is foolishness. People are not going to agree with you. I understand that. But we take and besmirch somebody's good name. Think about if it were one of us. We'd be jumping up and down trying to find a way to get justice. And so on behalf of those of us who are thankful, who are part of many in a grateful nation, thank you for your service, sir. I yield back.
Man, this got to be one of the worst admits of pandering ever. This some bullshit, Shaq. This some bullshit, man. Come on, man. Come on. That's terrible. Hey, man, Shaq, you believe in this shit, man? Come on, man. Help me out, man. Please help me. That is bad. Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. Hey, man. That's bullshit. All you got to do is read the reports. He did it. Emails out and everything, man. It's bullshit, man. You know it's BS. All right. Shaq, you there? Shaq, can you hear me? So yeah, it worked. Now he's lying because this is the opposite of something that Fauci said right here. I'm gonna play the audio recording for you.
To live their lives so they'd feel pressured to get vaccinated. Could we run the audio clip on that, please?
You think can be done about it? I have to say that I don't see a big solution other than some sort of mandatory vaccination. I know federal officials don't like to use that term.
Once people feel empowered and protected legally, you were going to have schools, universities, and colleges are going to say, you want to come to this college, buddy? You're going to get vaccinated. Lady, you're going to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Big corporations like Amazon and Facebook and all of those others are going to say, you want to work for us, you get vaccinated. And it's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit and they get vaccinated.
Thank you.
Well. You lose your ideological bullshit. That's what he said, Shaq. Oh. Check. Woman still found alive at funeral home dies hours later. So big is in the Mulberry nursing home. Tedros, Tedros declares it's time to be more aggressive and pushing back on anti-vax in the same week. Dr. Deborah Burks called for every cow in America to be tested weekly for bird flu. Also, dairy farmers. Oh.
Europe.
You heard? Yeah, you got me?
Yeah. Hold on, we got the headphones. Chip. Huh?
A lot of stuff I was reporting there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I ain't really get to say that on that 50 Cent thing, but yeah, everybody, it's that time, man.
Well, I played that quasi improvement thing where he thanked Fauci for his service. All right, Shaq,
Yeah, he's one talking about the syphilis thing.
Full throttle. Yeah. But he was thanking Fauci for his service and everything he done, and he's tired of these conspiracy theories around Fauci.
I mean, damn, he just gonna thank him for everything he done.
Full throttle and
how many people died up under Fauci? How many people died up under Fauci? How many deaths up under Fauci's up on his team?
He claimed it's 1 million.
Nah, man, it's way more than that, bro.
But
that nigga been in the business for long. How long he been in the business, man? Come on, man.
Well, shit, he talking about anthrax and all that shit. He asked Fauci, "Did you ever meet with the CIA?" He said, "Yeah, I met with the CIA back in 2001." Lying bastard. Look here. Ship at full throttle in harbor causes major South Carolina bridge to close until it passes safely. So another ship lost power out there in South Carolina. It almost went through the South Carolina harbor.
Man, this sounds familiar, man. People need to pay attention what's going on, bro. All this shit sounds familiar. All this stuff that was going on, like you said, during Jim Crow in the early times, the early 18s, going into the 19th century, man. All these fires and shit and stuff that was going on to these local buildings, these libraries, these vital statistic buildings and stuff. It's resemblance, bro. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay close attention.
All right. Yep. All right. I'm gonna show you something. If you come up.
There's something about drinking
right
that.
here.
Drinking some tea with that cayenne in it, boy. That cayenne get inside, boy. Open you up.
Now you from Chiefs Thompson stable in hospital after cardiac arrest. Chief defensive end BJ Thompson stable this at an area hospital after having a seizure and going to cardiac arrest. He was drafted out Stephen F. Austin. He played in one game in rookie arrest and 2 tackles. He was on cardiac arrest. This one played for Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Now, also today in Baltimore, or in Maryland, actually, matter of fact, they had a Miss Baltimore won a beauty pageant, but one problem. It was a transgender. All right, here goes Mr. Biden again, trying to pander to get your vote, brother. He want that vote, Chak. He want that vote from you. Yeah.
We all know that we are in the middle of election. Kamala, they have kicked off their black voters for Biden-Harris campaign. They're touring all over, and they're going to talk to Black Americans about why we should vote for them. Well, not too long ago, they started off in Philadelphia, and Kamala took to the podium, and she talked about all the things that they have done for us. They're protecting reproductive rights. Now, of course, I want y'all to be logical and thinking, what is reproductive about snatching babies out of wombs and deleting them? There's nothing reproductive about that. But see, it's all about how you word it. They want to make it seem like it's something good, but we know when they're talking about reproductive rights with Black people, especially Black women, they ain't talking about you keeping your baby. They're talking about you having the rights to get rid of it. Okay, I just want to put that out there. So they both talk about that, and Joe Biden started off his speech rather with promises made and promises kept. So he talked about the things that he's doing in the Black communities. He's going to stop freeways from being driven through Black communities. And he talked about the prescription drugs that's coming down. He talked about the HBCUs, how he's funded it to the tune of $16 billion more dollars. And, you know, nothing major, right? It was that he could have done that for everybody. That's not specifically for Black people, right? But guess what they didn't talk about? They didn't talk about reparation. They didn't talk about no real hate crime bill. He did mention the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, but again, that's on the federal level. You probably will have a smaller chance of being choked out by the FBI, CIA, or Border Patrol, but those state and local officers, that's where the nasty work is, right? He don't have no control over that. Anyway, let me get back to what I really wanted to talk about. So when Joe Biden
I paused it right quick.
ending,
because she made a great, I don't know if she made that point or she slipped up and made that point.
Now,
spread the word.
Well, I'm about to tell you that anyway, after the video was over, but go ahead. I know what you're getting at.
Yeah, okay, go on. Well, I didn't want to get too far because she stated about the federal and the state and local. The president got stuff nothing to do with the state and city.
Remember I called you the other day?
On the state level.
Remember I called you the other day?
What's that?
You remember I called you the other day? Remember I called you the other morning and told you, has anybody read that George Floyd Justice and Policing Act? And I told you that Policing Act got more to do with border police and federal officials, not state and local. Remember I called and told you that?
Well, first of all, they can't make no ruling on no state. The state had to make that ruling. So that's what if that's what said. She stumbled on what she said. I don't know if she knew what she was saying. No, the president can't make no ruling in no state ruling. Like I said, the state had to come up with those what's the name? You said what?
I mean, all you gotta do is go pull up George Floyd Justice. All you gotta do is go pull up George Floyd Justice Policing Act. I already looked at it. It's got to do with federal officials and border patrol, things like that. Exactly what she said. It ain't about what you think it is. They told you that they're going to get your vote for. Matter of fact, if you get that Justice Policing Act, probably gonna let more immigrants in here. You just saw the other day they just got rid of 350,000 asylum cases. Come on, man, right in front of your face. I mean,
Yeah, you need to have a conversation with your state representatives, bro. Your state congressmen in the Senate, senators in your state. The president ain't got nothing over that. The president know he can't overstep his boundaries and go into the state and rule nothing on no state. He can only do it on the federal level. You know what I mean? On the federal level, he can write and sign shit off. We can't sign it off for no state. The states have to what's the name? Implement. You know what I'm saying? Adopt a version of whatever federal law or bill that's being passed, man. That's how we get tricked all the time, dog.
I want you to watch what he. I know. I want you to watch what he say to you, because we're gonna talk about this in a second. This is some bullshit.
As the gospel song goes, we've come too far from where we started. Nobody told me the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far, though, to leave me. My fellow, the good Lord brought us this far to leave us behind.
So as you saw and heard him, he tried to anyway, recite the lyrics to, he says, oh, the old gospel song, which is Can't Give Up Now, right? I know the version by Mary Mary, which I like. But I guess he thought he was going to, recite the lyrics to Black people because they know that we as Black people are very emotional. Listen to me, y'all. Corporations, political parties, and everything in between, what they do is they study Black people and they figure out how to market to us, how to advertise to us. And that's really a sales tactic in general, right? I have a background in sales. And the one thing you try to do is to appeal to the buyer, right? You want to appeal to their emotions, get them invested. Oh, can't you see yourself in this Corvette? Oh, it looks good on you. Imagine driving through, the highways all by yourself with the hair or the wind rather flowing through your hair. And you get them like, yeah. You appeal to their emotions. So they do the same thing with us. They know a lot of Black people going, ooh, that Joe Biden is reciting the gospel song. It's kind of like the Bill Clinton moment. Remember when he went on the Arsenio Hall show and he's playing the saxophone and Toni Morrison called him the first Black president and everybody else kind of went along with it because he played the saxophone. So anyway, they know how to get to the emotions of Black.
Now, Chak, she got a point. It's a good sales pitch, but who's buying the product? You buying the product. So you the consumer. You're right. That's right, Chak. That's right. What do you think? What do you think about this shit? That's funny, man.
Yep. You ever seen the what's the name? A documentary or something called "Selling to the Negro"?
What?
You ever seen that? Selling to the Negro.
Selling to the Negro, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've seen
You ever
it.
see that?
Go ahead and explain it.
Well, you would have to see it.
I ain't seen it. No, just tell me about it.
Well, pretty much,
I
like you
mean,
said,
I think it's 1,000 ways.
certain.
It's 1,000 ways to sell us. Look,
Hmm?
it's 1,000 ways to sell us. Women wearing fake hair and nails, they getting sold a dream too. Shit. I probably have seen it. I just probably can't remember it off the hand.
Yeah, it's very. I can't hardly remember all of it, but the concept was pretty much detailing and showing how it's easy to sell stuff to the so-called Negro. You know what I mean?
I mean,
certain key things, you know.
oh yeah, you know what?
And
He's saying it tells the seller they see a black couple to approach the black woman first because she controls the man. Now, that is interesting because I really now jog. I remember. I do think matter of fact, I know I've seen this somewhere, but I ain't even got to remember that because of the simple fact of
you might have to we have to play that one day because we gotta make people remember. Remind motherfuckers, man.
That's fine. But look, check this out. Check this out. I might need to write a note of this too. But check this out.
Yeah, write that down.
Okay, where my pen? Where my mark at? Shit. What's this? Oh, okay, hold on. I gotta write this down. Damn. Oh, here it is. What is it? Selling things in Negro?
Yeah, the title is called Selling to the Negro.
Yep. Selling things in Negro. I wrote it down. All right, look. Now check this out. Because I was at a timeshare thing one time, right? And the guy said, well, where the girl at? You're not here by yourself. I told him to stay in, I told her to stay in the room. Well, why you do that? Because I told him I'm making the decision. You're gonna take me on the tour. I ain't buying shit. And I don't need nobody you trying to convince nobody. He was like, well, really, you supposed to come with your partner. I'm like, well, it's me. She in the room sleep. Now what you gonna do about it? Give me my $180 gift card and move on, buddy. So they get mad when you don't bring a woman. See, just put it out there. They don't like that. Then one time I was by myself. I had a woman, and she told me, "If you don't buy this timeshare tonight, my kids gonna go hungry. I got 4 children, and I don't want them to starve." I told her, "But baby, if you waiting on me, they dad gonna buy this timeshare for your kids to eat. Now you in the wrong business." And they ask little crazy stuff to the woman. Don't you deserve to go on vacation and things like that? Man, it's a bunch of nonsense. But a bunch of nonsense. Here goes some other nonsense, Shaq. I'm pretty sure you ain't heard this one.
Witness in a potentially pivotal piece of video evidence at the trial of President Biden's son, Hunter. Hallie Biden, the widow of Hunter's brother, Beau, testified this surveillance video shows her throwing away her brother-in-law's gun in a Delaware grocery store parking lot on October 23, 2018. Just 11 days after Hunter Biden bought the gun, and just after Hallie Biden said she found it in Hunter Biden's car along with drug residue and drug paraphernalia. Hallie testified, "I didn't want him to hurt himself or the kids to find it and hurt themselves. I was panicking." Prosecutors are trying to prove Hunter Biden was addicted or using drugs at the time he bought the gun, lying on this federal gun application.
Prosecutors will tell you the physical evidence doesn't lie. And this is about as powerful physical evidence as you can get, linking his possession of that gun to his use of illegal drugs.
Hallie Biden also described taking up a romantic relationship with her brother-in-law about a year after her late husband, Beau Biden's 2015 death, telling the jury it was also Hunter Biden who introduced her to using crack cocaine, calling her drug use a terrible experience. "I'm embarrassed and ashamed." Prosecutors showed Hallie Biden the gun and images of the satchel in which she found and discarded it. But Hunter Biden's attorney, Abby Lowell, tried to show Hallie Biden didn't actually know what Hunter was doing the week he bought the gun. "You don't know if he was drinking, using, or either of the above?" Lowell asked. "I don't know," she responded. Hunter Biden faces the prospect of a
This story about throwing the gun in the trash can, man, just kind of just like, okay, whatever, man. I'm like, okay, come on. Kind of made me like, okay, this just sounds like some phony baloney, man. But it is what it is, you know. Whatever they tell you, you just go ahead and believe it. I don't know if you believe that one, Chad.
Yeah. Man.
That ain't, that's what they tell you. I mean, believe anything they tell you. Let me see.
That's that time of year, man.
Okay, so let me play this one video before I get out. Yeah, the time of year where everything get crazy, Shaq. Just relax, brother, and don't hold back. Well, let me play this for you first. A lot of things happening. Job loss is still happening first. And then I'll come to our buddy, the Chris.
Held two rallies on the Center City campus today. Some expressed their emotions through art, others through strong words on signs or over microphones. All of it an unceremonious end to a 150-year-old institution. Action News reporter Annie McCormick live on that campus tonight. Annie, hundreds of staff were officially off just this afternoon.
That's right, word members. One phone call, all of the faculty were told that their jobs were terminated. On the other call, those faculty members were asked to stay until the end of they had to leave the University of Arts know 6 p.m. today. All of students, faculty, alumni. Okay, all right. University of the Arts students, faculty, and alumni. Last week, students and faculty have filed lawsuits. The president resigned, and now city council wants to hold hearings. The Attorney General's office is more faculty members were fired when I got on the call. What would happen to the large amount of valuable real estate the university owns that takes up most of South Broad Street. And Brian, this is investigating for now, reporting live in Center City on South Broad Street. Annie McCormick, Channel 6, Action News, right?
Yeah, just a tragedy for every student and every staffer there tonight. Annie, thank you.
That's some crazy stuff right there. That was some real crazy stuff. Let me play this for you, man.
Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity. Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure. And this is my perspective. So I got an interesting video that pretty much kind of illustrates how women get caught up wasting their own time. And then they'll blame the men that they're with, that they're wasting time with, on for the wasted time, under the guise that these men have lied to them, that these men have manipulated them carefully to this video. Listen, you gotta listen to what he said. And
128. That's all it takes. And what's your excuse?
I haven't found anyone to marry.
One too cute. They're cute. And if you want to be more expensive, they're over here. Which I wouldn't want that one. That's all. That's all it takes.
what he said. They're at Walmart, and she takes him over by the rings. And she's pointing out engagement rings. And these engagement rings are not even $150. These on to the slightly more expensive ones, $500-$600. Okay, very inexpensive. I'm not gonna say cheap. I'm gonna say inexpensive. So this woman who's been with him X amount of time, long enough to don't cost much at all. He can probably come out his pocket with that in a paycheck. This isn't going to break in. Asked him this, and this is the key part. When she asked him to marry, right then, right, and she continues to film as if he didn't say that, or he was joking when he said, ain't no point at all. He word doesn't want to. We don't know a woman that's willing to take 128, right? So she's either really in love with him or she's really desperate to have. Whether she's the type of woman that he shouldn't be fumbling, but he fumbling her anyway, or if she's messing up in the relationship and this is why he has not chosen her, it actually doesn't matter.
All right, so Shaq, this topic was a topic of discussion because there was a lot of people saying, you bought me a ring for that cheap. What's wrong with you? I wouldn't marry that dude. I need a ring that cheap. I need a 11-carat ring.
Really?
Hey, man. They wanted high price, brother.
Yeah, well, hey. They want a high price, huh?
Hey, man. Yep.
Damn.
Now, this is an article. People were just talking about me yesterday. And it's mighty funny that they talking about this. I want you to hear this, Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back. In today's Daily Health, we're taking a look at troubling new data from the CDC. It reveals sexually transmitted infections are on the rise and also show no signs of slowing down. NBC News medical fellow Dr. Akshay Syal joins us now on this. Hey, Dr. Syal, good to see you. So just how many cases are we seeing, and do we have any idea what is the reason for this uptick?
Hey, Savannah. Yeah, good afternoon. We're seeing about 2.5 million cases of chlamydia, of gonorrhea, and syphilis combined. That is up from last year, and it's continuing to rise. It's up about 7% over the last 5 years. And Savannah, the one we're really worried about here is syphilis. Syphilis it's an STI that can actually cause, if you get this during pregnancy, it could cause your baby to be born stillborn or dead. And it's an entirely preventable disease with something called penicillin, a common antibiotic. So in talking to the CDC, that's the one that's really most disturbing to them right now, that rise in syphilis. But when looking at why are cases rising, there's a couple things that experts are pointing to. The first is decreasing condom use among people who are sexually active. The other thing is the rise in substance abuse right now, kind of linked towards that behavior. And the last, lack of access to healthcare and lack of access to education about how to have safe sex, how to prevent these STIs from occurring in the first place, Savannah.
So what does the CDC say needs to be done to slow down this trend, to address some of those issues that we just had up on the screen?
Well, a couple things. I think the first and one of the most important is really reducing the stigma around these diseases, being able to go to your doctor's office and just talking to them about this stuff. I think that can go a long way. But, in talking to some experts who track this stuff for a living, the thing they really point to is getting STI treatment and testing really, really accessible, meaning you should be able to order STI tests just like you do a COVID test. Maybe on Amazon.com, you get a test straight to your house, really, really getting tests in the hands of people. And the last thing really is just, in terms of looking at future prevention, there is some exciting new data that taking doxycycline, a really cheap, common antibiotic, can actually prevent STIs. Just taking them prophylactically.
All right. And that's something that maybe we'll see more information or more research on?
Exactly. That's one thing that is one of the most exciting and controversial fields in the world of STIs right now.
Dr. Akshay Syal, thank you so much.
Shaq,
how do celebrities like Justin Bieber and The Rock generate hundreds of millions of dollars? It's actually
Video
What do you think about that?
Shit, it speak for itself, man. I ain't got to speak on that. Well,
Yeah, it's a lot of. Well, let me play this for you.
Video captured by a Florida spear fisherman showing close encounters of the shark kind. Filmed on the same day the beaches nearby him in Walton County, Florida, closed after back-to-back shark attacks within miles in one day.
You don't ever think it's going to happen. You know, it's like crazy.
On Friday, before 1:30 p.m., a woman swimming near a sandbar bit in her midsection and arm. Then, an hour and a half later, just 4 miles away, 2 teenage girls seen fighting for their lives after another shark attack.
And when I looked back over my left shoulder, I saw the water filled with blood.
2 doctors visiting Florida on vacation saw the scene unfold and jumped in to help.
We were able to apply tourniquets and apply pressure and get the response. It was a team effort.
It's unclear whether it was the same shark in both attacks.
It's extremely unusual for 2 to happen in the same afternoon within 4 miles of one another.
Statistically speaking, attacks by sharks on humans are rare, but Friday's Florida shark attacks come on the same day of an attack reported out of Hawaii. And after last week's attack in Galveston, Texas, when 19-year-old Damiana Humphrey had to fight a 5-footer off with her hands.
As soon as the shark attacked me, my body just naturally started punching it, and it was in the face. I did that, and it ended up swimming away.
We're only going about That's next steps. Warning flags line the beaches.
Is it safe for people to go in the water today?
Safe's a relative term, but I don't think people should be hysterical or paralyzed, only insofar as they need to be aware of their surroundings and look out for each other.
Marisa is on the beach in Florida where one of these attacks occurred. Marisa, are there any extra precautions being taken there today?
Well, Jose, authorities say they are watching the shoreline from the land, the sea, the air, and they said today they have observed a, quote, notable presence of sharks in the area, specifically bull sharks. But they remind beachgoers that sharks are always present here in the Gulf. Jose?
All right, Shaq, what do you think about that, man? He used to live in Florida, so shark attacks. Getting kind of crazy out there. It's a wild world out there, brother.
only if you're in the water with them, dog.
Well, if you see these people I know driving all the way up the water, putting these goddamn canoes and shit in the goddamn water, kayaks and shit, it's an easy thing to do it. We don't have a lot of them probably here in Virginia, but that don't mean they can't float upstream and come down here, though.
Yeah.
Remember that here, and that's my last video of the night. It's about the cartels. How LA became the cartel's global distribution and why it's part of an even bigger problem. Also, as you do know, I think they found a ship last week with $458 million of cocaine on it. So that's another story.
We revealed how LAX has become the drug trafficking hub of the world. As ominous as that sounds, it's not the worst part of the problem.
In part 2 of this exclusive Eyewitness News investigation, our David Ono expands the scope, showing us why cartels have such a large foothold in Los Angeles.
Our community, Los Angeles and all of Southern California, is so swollen with drugs that we are now the marketplace for the world. From our streets, cartels are shipping it out, not just through LAX, but every other means possible, and making enormous amounts of money. In this exclusive report, with each passing day, cartels are becoming richer and more powerful.
LAX, the drug trafficking hub of the world. Hidden in the hundreds of thousands of bags that move through here every day are illegal narcotics, slipping past security and getting shipped all over the globe. This enormous, chaotic place has become the cartel's global distribution center. And as frightening as that sounds, what's happening at LAX is just a symptom of an even bigger problem.
Los Angeles and the area around it is the #1 hub for drug activity in the country. Mexican cartels use the Los Angeles area to get drugs into the country and then distribute it throughout the country and also internationally.
U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada grew up in LA and is now a key part of the fight against these ruthless dealers that are now on our streets. The more drugs the cartels pour into the city, the more money they make, the more powerful they become.
Why LA? In part because of these long established drug trafficking networks. Mexican cartels have trusted lieutenants and individuals in this area that help bring the drugs into it and then broker deals in the Los Angeles area. There's a ton of drugs that get sold in the LA area.
While some of those drugs are distributed on our streets, huge quantities are shipped to global markets. It is big business. Distribution is everything, and LAX is just one cog in the system. Southern California has become the cartel's unwilling partner.
Number one, we have one of the busiest airports for passenger and cargo in the United States, if not the world. We have the largest seaport over here, as well as we're 90 miles north of the busiest border crossing in the Western Hemisphere. In addition, we have one of 8 international mail facilities.
John Pachuco with Homeland Security says smugglers are brilliant in finding ways to get the drugs out. They adapt, diversify, and are constantly changing tactics. Their reward is money. Drugs are abundant in LA and as a result cheap. Cocaine, fentanyl, heroin, meth. But if you can get it to other markets like Canada, Australia, Japan, it increases in value 20-fold or more. Just listen to the profit margin in New Zealand.
You can get a pound of meth here for probably $800 in Los Angeles, and you could turn it into $200,000 with a 16-hour flight.
From nondescript travelers to airport employees, that kind of money lures many people to become drug runners.
We have a case right now where an individual was smuggling methamphetamine through LAX to Japan. He was caught, and now he faces a very lengthy sentence. He told us he was going to get paid over $120,000 just for moving this one shipment.
But it's not just what's going out, it's what's coming in. Fentanyl has already reinvented itself. In 2018, I was shown a brick of pure fentanyl delivered from a lab in China. That's how it used to get here.
The U.S. government got pretty good at identifying those packages coming in, and we're seizing it. I think the cartels saw it as an opportunity to kind of expand their portfolio too.
The cartels have figured out that they can make their own fentanyl by bringing in the raw ingredients called precursor chemicals, which are legal.
What we've seen at LAX specifically is precursor chemicals flying air cargo into Los Angeles.
In other words, packages airmailed from Asia to LAX. The cartels then bring the chemicals over the border to their own labs in Mexico, synthesize it into fentanyl, and then smuggle it back to LA to be distributed around the world. And here's the most sobering part from Matthew Allen with the DEA.
It has given the cartels an unlimited supply. I mean, when you look at things like cocaine, heroin, things of that nature, you're talking about agriculture, right? You have a growing season, and it's time consuming, and it takes a lot of effort. With synthetics like fentanyl, I mean, there's an unlimited supply of chemicals. I mean, it's never ending. They just keep getting more and more and more.
And that's what will be hitting our streets and everyone else's in what is promising to be a busy travel season.
Fentanyl is a game changer in the worst possible way. In part 3, we take you back to LAX and explain how this drug is different from all the others. It truly does place every traveler, worker, law enforcement official in great danger. Join us Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. for part 3 of LAX, the Drug Gateway. David Ono, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Shaq, what do you think about that, brother? Drug pushers moving it around, ain't they, brother? Moving it around.
Yeah, they wild. Oh,
Hey,
let me see.
and they worried. Hey, look, hey Shaq. Some of us got locked up for the
Hmm?
crime bill for a little piece like that. They moving major. Wait.
You know it.
So they moving a lot of drugs, but what do you expect? See, they always say they're trying to stop drug use. Bullshit. How the hell this shit being packed on boats and warehouses and shit, man?
You know it.
It also show you how bad that they really always got us believing. Oh, we found we busted a shipment. We stopped the shipment. Somebody didn't pay the piper that day. Best believe. If that shit on that goddamn ship, they knew that shit was on there before they even took off with the goddamn boat. Believe me, they did know. That's a smoke screen for you to tell you, oh, we got one. Hey, Shaq, you got one. How many more out there?
Mm-hmm.
My main Pioneer
You
said they
know
were
it.
locking up black marijuana sellers back up in the 90s for far less, but letting them bring it in and even work with them.
Dang.
But they smuggling people too. So I want people to be clear,
You know it.
even though on these ships they say it's cargo of drugs, they could be smuggling people too. It could be all for one. They could be doing a lot of things in one time. It don't necessarily have to be just drugs. Just pointing that out there. But nevertheless, that pretty much wraps it up. Go ahead, Shaq. Shout out the information. Shaq.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, shout out the information.
Yeah, man. Y'all can tap in, man. Shaq _Edwards on Instagram and Shaq Edwards on Facebook. Tap in to Shaq Waller on YouTube. You know, go like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube, man. Give me some followers, dog. That's CHAQWILER on YouTube.
All right, got one announcement to make. One announcement to make here. I did talk to Sakima Bay today. I think he could come on Monday night. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. I told him I want to talk about it. We're gonna talk about this thing. I told you about the juror. The Trump trial should never happen because the juror posted and tweeted online that they were going to do. The cousin of a juror posted they was going to do it the problem day. So the judge saying they got to do a mistrial. So once again, got the people again. I told you it won't be nothing. They got you again, and that was only to distract you from what was going on with Fauci and Hunter Biden. As a matter of fact, Hunter Biden case, the prosecution is already arrested, and they did that in 4 days.
Damn.
So, but it is what it is. But that's how it goes. People not paying attention.
That's how it goes.
People better pay attention because this thing about to get real funk over the next couple months, man. But whatever the case
Is that the way the cookie crumbled out? Is that what you trying to tell me? You trying to tell me that's the way the cookie crumbled?
It crumbling that way right now. You ain't smart enough to figure it out by now. But with that being said, y'all take your time. Have a good night. Good show as usual. Next time, I tell you, Sakima Bay. She'll be on Monday. And I think I may have a judge on later in the week, Thursday or Friday or something like that. We'll see what's going on. I got a couple things I got to do here.
Right.
Like I said, people need to be real cautious because this could be a summer to remember. And don't fall for the blue.
Damn, something to remember.
And don't fall for the blue. Take your time.
All right, peace.
Yes, sir.